Hi, my name is Laurie Lemieux and I'm with the Office of Special Services. The purpose of this video is to provide tips for you to consider when you're developing your MOOSE modules so that they are accessible to all students, including students with disabilities. In the state of Maine, we have many students with different disabilities. We have students who are learning disabled, which includes dyslexia and dysgraphia, other health impairment, which includes ADHD, in which students struggle with executive functioning skills and organizational skills. We have students with limited hearing and deafness and visual impairments and blindness. It's really important that as you develop your modules, that you keep these students in mind in their needs so that they have the same opportunities as other students to access these modules. There are two main areas that you need to consider when you're developing these modules. First is the design, and the second is the instructional methodology that you use. For the design, it's really important that you use clear, consistent layout. I have reviewed some of the modules, and I'm really happy to see some beautiful layout in which themes are colored and they're connected to things such as logs. Pictures are used throughout the modules that show consistency. You need to structure your headings and your lists utilizing programs such as what's built into Word, PowerPoint, Pages. Use descriptive wording for hyperlinks. So instead of saying click here, use something like a United States maps or ecosystems. Use graphic organizers to organize thoughts and analyze content. In past modules, some people used Venn diagrams, which was a great organizational or graphic organizer. Use tables wisely and label them correctly. Tables should not be used for layout purposes. Use concise text description of content presented within images. You don't need to do it if it's a decorative piece, but if it is a picture that is part of the content of what you're trying to get across to the students, such as ecosystems, and you had a picture of an ecosystem, you would want to put some sort of short text there so somebody with a visual impairment would be able to scroll over it and know what the picture is on the page. Use large, bold fonts on uncluttered pages with plain backgrounds. Consider the age and the grade level of the student when choosing the style and the size of the font. Use color combinations that are high contrast and can be read by those who are colorblind. There are websites you can go to that will give you those color combinations and let you know if a saturation point is appropriate or not. Caption videos, and if needed, transcribe audio content. Utilize text-to-speech and speech-to-text tools with predictive spelling options. Create speaker links to slides whenever possible. Many computers have text-to-speech or speech-to-text. It's really helpful that you put in directions if it isn't embedded into your slides. Use a small number of IT tools and make sure they present content and navigation that requires the use of a keyboard or other accessible devices. There are some students, particularly students with cerebral palsy, who use switch devices or an alternative keyboard. Provide printed options that can be brailled or enlarged for students with visual impairments or blindness. In terms of instructional methods, don't assume that students have a wide range of technology skills. Provide options for gaining the skills needed for module participation. Provide options for learning by presenting content in multiple ways, a combination of text, video, audio, and/or image format. Provide options for demonstrating learning, including portfolios, presentations, logs, drawings, and songs. Address a wide range of language skills as you write content. Spell acronyms, define terms, and avoid or define jargon. If at all possible, embed a glossary into your modules. Use word banks for complex vocabulary and alternative reading materials for readers with reading disabilities. Oftentimes you can find lower reading materials on the subject that you're covering. Make instructions and expectations clear for activities and assignments. Make examples and assignments relevant to learners with a wide variety of interests and backgrounds. Offer outlines and other scaffolding tools to help students learn information in chunks or pieces. In reviewing Q1 MOOSE modules, there were a lot of great examples of scaffolding for students. Utilize universal design for learning for optimal learning for all students. Provide adequate opportunities to practice skills and allow adequate time for activities, projects, and assessments. I hope that you find these tips and considerations helpful as you develop your modules and provide access for all of our students. Thank you.